So we've decided to play at being activist investors today, only not looking at a company. We're looking at a much larger organization, the United States of America, and what its leader, President Barack Obama, is doing. Richard, I think you played a big hand in this. This is a piece, obviously, that our Washington colleague Dan Indiviglio has taken care of. But what we've done is what he's done is effectively look over the past 12 months at where the president has allocated his political capital.
So the conceit here is we're saying, okay, this political capital is not quite the same as financial capital. Yep. It's more to do with time, effort, striking deals in back rooms, and so on. But to the extent that comes out in news searches, in speeches, and on the White House blog. So Dan looked at three things: Google, news, the White House blog, and Obama's speeches, and searched for keywords in a whole bunch of different policy areas to kind of figure out where Obama is spending his political capital. And we came to the view, you know, we have a financial bias here, but we came to the view that he's over-allocating in certain areas, under-allocating in
So if you look at one of the biggest issues the country's facing is the budget talks and the budget deficit, and that took up, what, 6% of his time, was it?
Right, so he made a big pie chart. 6% of the effort, at least by this slightly unscientific measure that we came up with, on fiscal and deficit problems when, you know, I think we would say that's got to be one of the couple of big, along with the economy, which is related, one of the big things Obama should be spending his time on.
He found like 15%-ish of Obama's time was spent on jobs and growth. So at least he's getting somewhere, but we don't think that's enough.
It's probably not enough, even in just that area, but if you combine it with the fiscal stuff, which has a big economic impact, it should probably be higher, especially when you consider the top area by a little over jobs in the economy has been defense and security. Now, there's been a lot of talk, of course, about Syria and all of that, and then that slightly skews this, perhaps. But, you know, that doesn't seem like actually it's not the biggest problem Obama has. Right?
No, but it's one that takes up a lot of his time. Often does for a president, obviously being commander-in-chief as well. But if we focus on the economy and growth here, Chris, I mean, we're saying that maybe he should spend 25% of his time on jobs and growth and more on the deficit. Does that seem fair to you, though? I mean, is it worth a president doing that?
Well, it can be slightly fruitless time, but obviously the handling of the economy is a major cause of why people vote for a particular president. But it's not an area where they have a huge amount of power, so you can spin your wheels an awful lot. It's a lot easier for presidents to drop bombs than to actually drop money.
That's Ben Bernanke's job, obviously.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so what are we hoping he's going to do? Obviously, he's not. We know we want him to look at this, but what do we do now? We want to do 25% more of his time, or more of his time on the economy. Then what?
Well, I think the fiscal side is probably going to become a place where he's now going to have to spend some capital. Right? We're talking about this debt ceiling fight. Obama has said, you know, quite rationally, look, you guys have authorized this spending. We now need to pay the bills. I'm not going to negotiate about that. So this is going to become more front of mind. And this is important because you don't want the markets rattled, which could in turn feed back on the economy. You don't want the scene we had a couple of years ago. So I think that's going to become, you know, if you're the activist shareholder in President Obama, that's certainly where you want to focus now. Now that Congress is back, I think that's probably where it'll be. Okay,
thanks, Richard. Thanks, Chris. If you want to spend a bit more time, our pie chart that we've been talking about is on our website. That's it from us for now. We'll be back next week with more breaking views.